which would you prefer? One big boss, open-ended story. And I'm actually curious to hear what people's answers is, right? Open-ended story is kind of like vanilla WoW in a way, and one big boss is like Arthas. Just a second. Open-ended. Yeah. Give me a straw poll. I need to use the bathroom. I'm actually curious about this.
His gaze falls upon every path, every dream given form.
Not the answer I expected, actually. I thought a lot more people would say that they preferred an open-ended story. But for me personally, I don't know. Like, I think both of them are good, but it's really hard for me to say which I like more. We lied? Well, I don't know. Like, the point is that I do kind of... I don't know. I think both of them are kind of good. But yeah, I guess one big boss is, like, easier for people to understand, though. So yeah, that's actually good for me to know.
Bosses drop 2 to 3 pieces of gear for 40 people. That gear was special. It was a hell of a reward. Epic gear was epic. Getting gear was a big deal, instead of getting bukkakied on with gear in retail. The gear itself has also become so streamlined, gear no longer has any unique traits like chance on hit or specific class-related abilities. They even removed tier sets, for God's sakes. Can you name any regular piece of gear you have in the stats it features and how you got it? They have turned gearing into a soulless slot machine that gives you nothing memorable or unique. Gear is now just your item level, nothing less, nothing more. I mean, one of the main ways of receiving gear, the mythic caches and PvP caches, are basically loot boxes that give you a completely random piece of gear regardless of whether you need it or want it. Players don't have to improve their skill level at all to access content. And even for higher content, they can get into it as long as...
That was a really good point, and I want to go ahead and emphasize on that. Players do not have to improve their skill level to access content. There was one exception to that in Legion. Everybody knows it's the Mage Tower. What a coincidence that the Mage Tower is viewed by most people, or not, sorry, I can't say most people, but by a lot of people that I talk to, that I hear from, as one of the most successful bits of content in Legion. I mean, there it is. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
They have the fucking eye level. They don't have to join a guild. They don't have to prove themselves at all. A player's power is boiled down to a fucking number. You used to be able to map out the gear you wanted or needed for your character, or make a biz list. This made players point out their own goals and milestones in the process of gearing up. This gave you smaller goals. This made
I want to look at that right there. Pre-raid best in slot list with enchants on it. Main hand weapon, intellect. You would go to different areas and then kill bosses that had a chance to drop a piece of gear that you could use. And you would do that with other people. And that's the way that it used to work. Yeah, it's crazy. And like, you look at like what this content is, right? A lot of these are like leatherworking, engineering. You've got like profession stuff. You've got dungeons. You've got 10-man dungeons. I'm sure for some people that are like PvP alternatives, there are all these other options that you have. And like, the content was very varied. It was very varied.
Players point out their own goals and milestones in the process of gearing up. This gave you smaller goals you could continuously work towards and achieve. Other goals related to gear could be hitting expertise cap or hit cap. Remember that? I had no idea how much I would miss hit until right now. It wasn't...
Alright, he's wrong about that. I thought hit cap and expertise were pointless, and they just served to overcomplicate the game. I don't think they added anything positive into the game. I think the only argument that you can make for hit cap being interesting is if you're playing a dual-wielding character with a innate miss chance. But I don't think there was anything good about hit chance or expertise. It was just a needless complication that didn't really affect the gameplay. It was like you needed this for your gameplay to work. And I didn't really think it was good for the game. It wasn't good play. Oh, I understand. Yeah, you guys are saying I'm wrong. That's fine. I thought it was stupid. I really have always thought it was dumb. It's an RPG element. Well, everything is an RPG. Like, yeah, but like you can say that about so many things that are like not really good gameplay features. I just don't really feel like the stat of hit rating or expertise added anything to the game that made it more interesting. It was just a frustrating number that you had to meet that was an arbitrary restriction for you to be able to play your class in the way that it was supposed to function. Like, it just wasn't really fun. Like, for like a dual-wielding class like a Fury Warrior or like a Rogue, like, yeah, okay, hit cap could be interesting because you'd have like dual-wielding, but outside of that, I don't think there's a point to it. Straw poll? Well, I mean, I think that most people would probably vote against me, right? But I still don't think that I'm wrong. I don't think that I'm wrong at all.
Wasn't terribly exciting to work on your hit cap, but fuck me, did it feel good.
Yes, weapon
to
skills
get
did make
hit
sense.
capped. And just to know that now you would